Welcome to Battery Guys with a Z. Today we are installing a battery at Battery Guys Nation in a 2014 Chevy Tahoe. For this project you would need a 13mm socket to take off the bolts that is surrounding a bracket above the battery itself. There's about 3 bolts that is holding down that bracket. Once you get that done, then you get more access easily to the battery itself.
1, 2.
As you can see, you definitely need a good handy socket set nearby. Okay, so what we're looking for is a 10mm socket. What you want to do is disconnect the negative terminal first. Always when you're disconnecting a battery, you want to disconnect the negative terminal, which is also known as the ground. Okay, next step, disconnect your positive terminal. Just use this wrench, just turn it clockwise until the bolts loosen up.
1, 2.
Just want to kind of move those wires out the way when you're working. Just find the best way as possible, because you don't want to get those wires tangled up. So what I'm doing right now is basically trying to move the wires out the way. Next thing you need another 13mm socket. There's another bracket that you're gonna have to disconnect as well. It's a long bar that goes on the side of the back of the battery itself. So what I'm doing now is disconnecting the top bolt of this bar. And I used a 13mm socket for this.
1, 2.
Okay, you're gonna need a long extension to be able to get down to the bottom of this, the last bolt that's holding this bar up. There is 2 screws that's holding this bar that's behind the battery. There's a top one and there's a bottom one. So you need a long extension to get the last bolt out. It's displayed right here in this video. It's to the very bottom. You will see it behind the battery. Just use your long extension. Just disconnect it, loosen that bolt, and it will free that bar itself. Yeah, this vehicle has 2 different bars you have to take off to even get access to the battery.
1, 2.
Okay, once you move that bar, then you'll be able to remove the battery itself safely. Just be careful though when you pulling up on this battery. You don't want to snatch a wire loose. So just take your time, move the wires out the way, and just slowly lift up the battery itself. Now you're able to get to the bracket that's holding down the battery itself. It's located directly behind the battery itself. Once you loosen up the bracket, take that screw out, then you'll be able to lift up on the battery and get the battery out of the vehicle. Yeah, let's grab that screw with your hands. Don't try to do it with the wrench itself, because it will pop off in the engine itself. Now let's get this battery out of here. Kind of turn it sideways, got it out. Now we're reinserting the new battery, which is the world's best reconditioned battery. You can pick one up in the future at batteryguyswithaz.com, half price than going to your national retailer, half the shipping price as well, free shipping. So once you get that installed back in there, you want to get your battery bracket bolted down first. Once you get that back flushed down, then you're able to put that center screw back down into that battery bracket and tighten up the bracket itself, which bolts down the vehicle itself of the battery. Just use your wrench clockwise and just tighten up that bolt for this battery bracket itself. Okay, now we're going to put this bar that's located behind the battery itself. Okay, just use your screw and tighten up put that first top screw in first. And let's get it started with your finger. Once you get that started, then you'll be able to tighten it up a little bit. And get the second screw. And just line up the hole with the bracket itself, the long bar. And just get it started with your fingers. Find the hole, get it started. Then get your long extension to tighten up that bolt itself. So what I'm doing right now is basically using my fingers to get the bolt started in the back of the battery itself. And once I got it started and kind of flushed down a little bit, I got my long extension. Then I'm gonna tighten down that bolt even more with this long extension. As you can see, this is a tight squeeze for a battery in a major SUV. So just take your time when you're working in here. Like I said, there's a lot of wires everywhere. Just take your time. Okay, so what I'm doing now is basically just tighten up that bolt on that bracket of that bar itself. Now what you want to do is you want to connect your positive terminal back into the battery post itself. Just use your 10mm and just tighten up that post. Next, what you want to do is you want to connect your negative terminal, which is also known as the ground. So you can get that started as well. Once you get that back flushed down, then you use your 10mm socket and tighten up that bolt as well. And it's your first time stopping by Battery Guyz Nation. Please like the video, share the video, leave a comment, let us know what we can do better in the future. If you have any suggestions, we are uploading daily videos of all makes and models, and exactly how we recondition batteries, and just the whole business of this being in the recycling and reconditioned battery business itself. What I'm doing now is basically putting up that bracket right across the battery itself, the curved bar. Just get your 13mm bolts that you pulled out and just start them back. Just get the first one started in the corner there first. And yeah, I think there's three holes, 3 bolts for this bracket. So just get them started easily with your fingers. And once you get them started in the groove, just use your 13mm socket and just tighten up those bolts once you get them all back inserted into the correct place. And we'd like to thank all our 100+ subscribers for subscribing to the channel. We definitely appreciate your subscription and your views. Thank you, and welcome to Battery Guyz Nation. Yeah, so basically what I'm doing right now is basically just tighten up those 3 bolts for that bar, and that would complete your install of installing a battery for a 2014 Chevrolet Tahoe. Start your engine.